Salutations! Welcome to another episode of RWBY Review. I'm your friend Mookies, and we're gonna be exploring Volume 8, Chapter 11, Risk. Let's check it out, yeah? Okay, so I was wrong in that the Grimm were not all totally obliterated in Monster's demise. However, aside from the Grimm River, there's now no other source of spawning Grimm since Monster's gone, so that's good. Ironwood made that alpaca bitch Fiona cry, so I stand him even harder now. I fucking hate her. Elm is my second favorite Aesops after Marrow, now that Clover's gone, and I like that she also doesn't like the plan. Harriet's a piece of shit and Vine is just absolute trash, just right there along with her. It might finally push the kids to see reason, he says, as though there's anything reasonable about being extremist and a fascist supporter.
You call this saving Atlas? Doing Salem's job for her?
Thank you, Marrow. How is doing exactly what Salem intended to do going to save Atlas? You're gonna kill yourself so you don't get murdered? What kind of sense does that make? I know he's not Mantle, but like, whatever, you get the idea. At the risk of sounding like I'm committing a microaggression against him, Marrow looked like a kick puppy whose owner is a bad person. He's been betrayed and now Marrow knows he can no longer abide by the person he used to respect. He probably serves as a fandom stand-in for how many people are disappointed with Ironwood's extremism as well, so that's a thing. Fuck you, Harriet, fuck you, just die already. The second you die I won't shed a single tear unless it's from laughter, rot in hell, bunny bitch. Why the fuck is Vine so intent on getting the children to cooperate? He sounds like a holier-than-thou asshole and I very much want him to die too, but if it had to be between him and Harriet, she needs to go into the shredder, trademark pending. Go the fuck off, baby boy. Baby boy. Let them know that your military days were a mistake because the military is not valid. Armies are inherently evil. Tell a fucking friend. Ironwood was 100% about to do to Marrow what Cinder almost did to Watts before she got roasted. Winter, so I wonder if like Marrow, like if somebody roasted Ironwood, would he like not do it? Winter absolutely saved Marrow, and this is perhaps the chance for them to defect, but at the cost of some dog faunus racism. She had to be racist to save his life though, so I guess it's permissible because, you know, racism is probably preferable to death. Maybe, I don't know. Also, how are you going to throw Marrow in the brig? Didn't Cinder destroy that when breaking out Watts a few episodes ago? I love that Elm was shocked and disturbed and hesitated before falling in line after seeing how quickly and mindlessly Harriet and Vine did it. Elm has a conscience and I hope she gets to join Team Defect because I've always really liked her and I think she's also a fan favorite, or at least a favorite of this fan. Elm isn't like the others, she clearly doesn't agree with what's going on and didn't immediately fall in rank with the other two. Also, Vine doesn't fucking blink. What the hell is up with that? Nicholas Schnee is daddy. I love Emerald and her pettiness. Queen of the petty, we stan. It's about time RWBY had a proper breakdown. She's always been so strong for her team, probably putting them first the way she told John back in Volume 1 that the team leaders have to do. And now the toll of it all is catching up with her 8 volumes in. Let's see if this develops into anything or if it's brushed under the rug. I feel like this is just a voice direction thing, but I think the characters tend to have this habit of pausing way too long between words, especially when they start speaking.
I'm glad you're all right.
I understand he's probably trying to find the words here, but you see what I just did? But this isn't exclusive to Ren, and the dialogue comes across as stilted and mechanical whenever this does happen, and it happens quite frequently actually. Good on Nora for taking Ren to task the way he's been taking everyone to task. It's about time he got chewed out for once and tasted his own medicine, and I'm glad it's Nora who's delivering it. Nora's character has been defined by her relationship to Ren, so it's nice to see that she can divorce herself from him enough to call him out on his bullshit and make it clear she's not going to accept his BS just because she loves him. And also because she's angry, and rightfully so. Nora's been putting in all the work to make their relationship work with very little, if any, effort from Ren. Now it's his turn to try and make it up and win her heart instead and prove that he's worthy of it. Because low-key already does have her heart. My biggest feeling was as a teammate and as a partner. So Ren is acknowledging that he believes he's in a relationship with Nora. He wouldn't say teammate and partner if he meant the same thing because that'd just be fucking pointless and repetitive. So it's clear he's talking about romantic partner. I don't find this awkwardness or animation to be cute, and though I did say I wanted more of the experimental humor they had back in volumes 1 and 2, this isn't necessarily what I meant. But I suppose it's progress because it's some sort of like, you know, funny animation thing, so sure, why not? It's out in the open now, they both can't deny what they feel for each other. Ren said I love you first, and now how Nora handled it is perhaps one of my favorite things about this episode. She acknowledges that she loves him, but that doesn't mean she's gonna take him back just yet. She has to work on herself and discover who she is before she can be part of a relationship. Nora wants to develop her own character and identity instead of just being an item in a pair. That's phenomenal, and everything I've been waiting for Nora for a long time. For the longest time, in fact. Since day one, she's been defined by Ren. Now who will she be on her own terms? How will she define herself? Shout out to Neith Ohm and Samantha Ireland for their phenomenal voice acting during this scene. I especially like Samantha's because her handling of Nora can be so emotive, and it really shines through here, especially when given angsty scenes. Neith did a commendable job as well, and his love confession as Ren was absolute perfection, as was his reassurance of Nora. Also, the fucking boob was so goddamn cute. It took 8 years and 8 volumes for it to come full cycle, but Nora has officially been booped. Boop! All is right in the world, even if only for a moment. Now we transition to a more disappointing scene. We've been waiting for Crow to show up and do something for the longest time. The first thing we see him do is retrieve Harbinger from a locker, which apparently isn't even locked. The Elysian soldiers are really incompetent. I don't know if it's a running gag or intentionally, but they really do suck at their jobs. What's disappointing about this scene is that Crow has no visible reaction to holding Harbinger again. His own handcrafted weapon, fashioned after his idol the Grim Reaper, her weapon's life and death, which was used by his nemesis to kill the fuck out of Clover. Yes, I shipped the fuck out of Fair Game, and yes, I'm incredibly angry and still hurt as fuck about what happened. Even if you don't read Clover as queer, he's still very good for Crow, and that hurt to have lost him. Why doesn't Crow have any reaction to Harbinger? Why is he not disgusted by his own weapon? Why doesn't he feel guilt about using the weapon that murdered Clover, his own weapon? Why is there no hesitation? Why is there no anxiety or trauma or horrible flashbacks to Clover's murder the second he picked it up? Does he not care? Does he not associate Harbinger with Clover's murder at all? Does he solely blame Tyrion, even though they made a point in the show, through Tyrion, of pointing out that Crow's weapon was the one that was used to murder Clover? So what's more, it's in the sword mode that impaled Clover. So does Crow really not have any thoughts or reactions to handling forevermore the weapon that murdered his would-be love interest? Nothing? Not a one? Why? Robin is right in that it's not just about Crow, but that doesn't necessarily mean he can't do it for himself. The complication is that there are millions of lives at stake, so yes, she's right in that he can't go in all willy-nilly, but him wanting to do it for himself isn't inherently bad, it's just not ideal because of the circumstances and the lives in the balance. There seems to be a lot of Clover slander in the show after his death. Earlier this volume, Crow tried to pin Clover's death on himself, on Clover that is, saying he would have made it out only if he did XYZ. Z is how you say Z in Canada, by the way. A game of shoulda, woulda, coulda. Clover's at fault for his own death, according to Crow, even though he acknowledges he's partly to blame too. And now Robin is here saying that Clover didn't do the... I keep trying to say Crover. Ugh. And now Robin is here saying that Clover didn't do the right thing and that Crow did, and so Clover is a worse huntsman than Crow. Why are they slandering this dead man? It's kind of fucked up. This feels like when the narrative had Ren explicitly point out why the Aesops lost to Team RWBY as a way to settle the fandom disputes, but this one is executed horribly and on the polar opposite of that spectrum. It is not good. I'm willing to bet it's Winter and Mara in that elevator. Also, imagine Crow finds out that Winter let Yang and the others go into Monstra, and when he flips the fuck out, she just replies, "You try stopping these kids when they set their minds to something." The way he said to her when she flipped out about Weiss almost getting hurt in the stolen airship back in Volume 7's opening, or not intro, but first episode. That would be a fun little callback. Does anyone ever really sit there and curl around and cuddle a leg on the staircase? I only ever see this in media, and I can't help but interpret it as shorthand for I'm sulking, but because I'm in an easily visible space and not hidden away in my room, this is code for come talk to me so we can further the plot along. It's just weird. Who does that? Can someone for once please support and hug Yang? I swear this girl is always doing her best to comfort others, but here she breaks down and literally has to pick herself back up because no one comes to her fucking aid. And then she immediately goes to comfort RWBY. I need people to support Yang. The only time I can ever recall this has happened was when Weiss went to check on Yang back in Volume 5. I don't even think RWBY said anything comforting to Yang back when she lost her arm. I need songs like Gold and All Our Days, but instead of from Yang's perspective and about protecting and loving RWBY, it's about RWBY loving and protecting Yang. This sunny little dragon deserves love too, damn it. Also interesting how Summer was yet again brought up. I'm starting to think we might find out a lot about her before the volumes end, and definitely in volume 9 if not. Yang giving RWBY a pep talk and telling her they're called risks for a reason was right. You can't beat yourself up for doing your best because victory was never guaranteed, even if it's in a simple soul. Victory is in a simple soul. Summer knew that, and now RWBY and Yang and the others know it too. This Penny scene is killing me. She's trying so hard to control herself, but she can't. Suddenly, I love how the two ninja characters have similar grappling weapons. I don't know why, I've never really noticed before, but Blake and Ren using their grappling functions on Gamble, Shroud, and Stormflower, as well as the team helping hold each other down, each one down, and Weiss using her attraction glyph to try and keep Penny grounded. It's all I ever wanted. I love this. Taylor McNee's voice acting has always been superb, but it's really fucking selling me here, when she's insistent on opening the vault and self-terminating as she struggles against the tethers. When I first watched this episode and Emerald's weapon thief's respite joined the fray to hold Penny down, I was literally crying because she was actively choosing to help the protagonist and was officially part of the good guys now. We finally have a black person on the team. It's fan-fucking-tastic, and I just love that she chose to help, she chose to do good, and she chose to become friends with them. Was it a little easy given how much history there is between them and how adamant she didn't want anything to do with them because of the bad blood between them all? Yes. Do I give a fuck? Fuck no. Emerald is one of my favorites, and this scene really fucked me up. I love you, baby girl. Still, very curious how Cinder will react, if anything, when she learns Emerald defected. Though I suppose she thinks Emerald is dead thanks to monsters exploding and she hasn't reacted to that, so maybe she doesn't care, and maybe it'll be a surprise for later on. Kill me, and I can make sure the power goes to you. What everyone thought was confirmed. If Penny dies, RWBY will be the next Winter Maiden. Nice to see it verbalized. I'm surprised to see a character advocating for suicide though. I was shocked she said the words kill me. Boosting Penny's aura to help her gain control for the virus was an interesting resolution. I'm glad it's not a permanent one because this felt way too quick to be resolved. I can't wait for them to figure out what's going on and remove the virus from her weapon floating array, and also make sure she can never be hacked again because this plotline is dragging out and I need it to be done. Emerald, baby girl, I love you. This was super cute, and her desperation to belong to the team and want to be part of the good guys is so overwhelmingly heartwarming that I had 3 myocardial infarctions while writing the script. Also, how cute is it that they're finishing each other's sentences? They're really ramming home this risk factor, huh? So now, because Nora said so, they're gonna let Penny go to the vault. What about the self-destruction after? Will the virus stop after she gets to the vault, or when she self-destructs? Also, I'm betting dollars to donuts that Emerald is gonna be key in all this. Ironwood said Penny comes alone at the academy entrance, but I think Emerald is going to fuck with his mind and make him think she's alone when really they're all there, or someone can grab the Staff of Creation, which will make Atlas fall onto Mantle, so they still need to figure out what to do with the people in the crater. Unless Crow finds Ironwood at the academy entrance and tries to fight him, they're ending on what looks to be a rematch for Cinder vs. Neo from Volume 6. What will happen? Oh fuck, I'm so interested. I'm so excited for next week, only a handful of days until Saturday because I'm recording this on a Tuesday, and we will find out what the fuck is gonna happen. What do you think is gonna happen? Will Team Ruby get the staff? Will Crow resurrect his boyfriend Clover? Will Penny be destroyed? Will Sea Monkeys finally become canon and kiss? Will Sea Monkeys finally kiss and become canon? I liked this episode on the whole. Definitely an upgrade over the last one, Ultimatum. We might see the vault next week, so I wonder what's gonna happen. Tune in next week to RWBY Review to find out what my thoughts on it are. Until then, take care, friends.